Hi, ni hao. This is Judy. Sorry I'm late. This week the vocabulary words are only 5 characters, but they're very complex because they don't have an equivalent to English for some of these. So I'm going to try to explain as best as I can. So the first character is tong. Tong means the same or equivalent or like a co. So you put tong in front of something and it almost means like a co-worker or a classmate. So the vocabulary word that goes with it is 同学. So it means the same school. So 同学 is your classmate, someone that you go to class with. You can say 同班 for someone that you go to the same school. You say 同班 for the same class. 同事 for a co-worker. 同志 for a comrade. So it has a sense of someone being in the same situation as you. Tong is also Tongyang is also another way of saying 一样, which the kids know as being the same. 张老师 like to say 一样的 for words that have similar meaning. So 同样 also means something as 一样, same thing as 一样. 一样 really literally means the same, and 同样 has a sense of being equivalent. So not exactly the same, but equivalent. Similarly, you can say 不同 to may say things are not equivalent. So, you can say 不一样 or 不同, and it means pretty much the same thing. The next character is Dao. Dao means knife, and you can see this character looks like a knife. There's 2 vocabulary words that went within the homework. Da Dao, which means big knife, and 剪刀, which means scissors. Now, this wasn't in the homework, but I just wanted to point this out, that there are 2 verbs in Chinese for cut. So if it's a 大刀, to say cut, you say 切, so kind of like chop like vegetables, 切. But if you're using scissors, instead of snip, 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 you say 剪. So 剪刀 means scissors, and the verb you say, if you want to cut something with scissors, 剪一剪, 剪. And if you know, this character, the top part, is a character for qian, which they learned earlier. So this is a sound radical to give you a hint of how to say this character. And the bottom part is a character for dao. Oh, wait, I wrote dao wrong. So, excuse me, I don't have time to proofread my index cards apparently. So, jian dao, that is scissors. The next character is dui. Dui means to face, and it has a lot of supported meanings in Chinese, but I'm just going to go over the ones that the kids probably know, and there's more that they're going to learn. Or maybe they know how to say it and they just don't know it's that character, but dui is kind of like a support character that's used to mean lots of things. So the word that goes with it is bu dui. And dui literally means, you say dui, bu dui, is correct? Is that correct? So you can say a statement at the end, you can say 对不对? For example, 李老师是你的老师吗? Or 李老师是你的老师对不对? 李老师 李老师 is your teacher, right? So where you want to say right, or is that correct? You can say 对不对? 对 is also in the meaning of face someone, is also in the character that they use in 对不起, which means I'm sorry. So literally, 对 means face, 不 not, 起 raise. So it means literally, when you say I'm sorry in Chinese, it's literally saying, oh, I can't face you. So 对不起 is I can't face you. The next meaning that's probably often used is 对面. Now we learned earlier that 后面 is back, 前面 is front. Well, 对面 means the side facing you. So the house across the street that's facing our house, that's 对面 to our house. So 对面 means the facing side, so the side that's facing you. The next character is 就. Now, Joe is really hard to explain because there's no really English equivalent. The word that is in the homework is 就是, and 就是 means exactly, in a way that you would say in English if somebody says a statement and you would say exactly. You say 就是. For example, you can say America is more beautiful than Canada. Apologies, Canadians. And you say, oh, 就是 exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Joe is also often used in a sentence to kind of bring the meaning to say that an action is happening earlier than expected or more easily than expected, a sense of ease and uh, or ease or things happening earlier than anticipated. So, for example, you could say 吃完饭以后可以出去. So you can say eat, finish, meal, can go out. And if you add a 就 on it, 吃完饭就可以出去. You say after we eat, then you can go out. And it has a sense of if a kid asks you, if your child asks you, oh, when can I go out? You say, oh, 吃完饭就可以出去. So, oh, after you eat, then you can go out. See, no big deal. And there's an opposite word to 就, which means 才. And if you have the same sentence and said 吃完饭才可以出去, that from a child calling his friend and his friend saying, when can you go out? He can say 吃完饭才可以出去. It's like after I can't go out until after I eat. Oh, I have to wait till after I eat to go out. So when you have 就 in a sentence, it's kind of like, oh, things are going smoothly or easier or earlier than anticipated. If you put 才 in the same places where you put 就, it means, oh, it's going to take place later than I wanted, or it's not going to be as easily done as I wanted, as anticipated. So 就 is often, if you put it in a sentence, it has a sense of things coming nearer or earlier or easier than anticipated. And how to use it in a sentence? Well, I think you just have to speak a lot of Chinese and hear a lot of Chinese to kind of get a sense of how that word is used. Ma. Okay, so this is the last character, and this is also the last thing I'll explain. So earlier I said to say yes or no in Chinese, ask a yes or no question, you say verb, not verb, or adjective, not adjective. Now, when you ask the question, there is a shortcut. You can say, instead of saying 好不好, mean good, not good, you can say 好吗, which also changes to question. So basically, you can turn any statement into a question by putting ma at the end, and it'll make it into a question. Now, to make it into a yes/no question. Now, to answer it, you still have to use the right verb. You still have to use verb for yes and not verb for no. So there's no shortcut way of answering. You still have to listen to the sentence and figure out how to answer yes or no by listening for the verb or the adjective. But there is a shortcut for asking a yes/no question by making a statement and put ma at the end. Now, when you use the ma construction instead of the verb, not verb construction, there's more of a sense of being polite or tentative or it's just not as forceful as using verb, not verb, or adjective, not adjective. So, but you can use it. No one's going to stop you. Everyone's going to understand you. So that is it for the 5 characters, which is probably a longer explanation that you want, and it's later, but hey, it's out there. And the phrase of the week is 对不起. So I will often tell my kids, big brother, tell little brother, 对不起, just for hitting or whatever. So 对不起 means sorry. Or you can say 对不起 means say I'm sorry. So that's the phrase of the week, and hopefully I will see you next week before the weekend.